I recently went 30 days without going on social media, and I also didn't listen to any music or read any books. And I realized from doing that my mind was so in touch with reality. And also, I realized how music and social media, especially, were manipulating my current state of being and how I felt in this moment. Because a song can change the way you feel, but the song is someone else's idea. It's created by somebody else. And so when you allow yourself to be molded by that sound, then it's not really who you are. It's you you have been changed by somebody. And same with social media, because social media can give you ideas and then people choose to act in different ways, but it isn't even their idea, it's somebody else's idea. So now they're acting like somebody else. Well, that's what I realized is when I turned this stuff all off, I felt way more connected with who I am and how I feel right now. Then I also feel connected with everything around me too. Noticing way more things happening around me and noticing people who are caught in that trap of being manipulated by social media and also books, because books are interesting because a book could go on New York Times bestseller and then you have 10 million people reading the same book, so everyone's being conformed to that idea. And not everybody's going to agree with the book, but it's just like that information is going into your head. So now 10 million people all have the same ideas, which could be good, but it also could be bad, because what if you are really a different type of person that wouldn't really come to those conclusions in the book or on, from the videos you watch on social media. You wouldn't really be that person unless you would have saw all this stuff. So if you really want to be yourself, you have to turn everything off. But most people think, well, there's so much good information on there. Why don't I just be myself and just watch what I want to watch, read what I want to read? I noticed that when I went 30 days without any of this stuff, I felt very creative. Like ideas were coming to me so often, and they were ideas that weren't from anybody. It was like the ideas that I noticed in the world. Like, let's give an example, right? When I really felt a feeling that was my feeling, and I listened to it, and I understood it, then I realized what people were talking about when they talk about that feeling. And I realized how it gets created within me. How that, step by step, how that was made, that feeling was created. But when something is just given to you with the music and with the, like, for instance, a song is somebody else's feeling of how they currently feel, and then they play that song. The problem is then it's not a problem, but then what happens is then they record it, so now their feeling of that moment is recorded and then shared. But all those people who are listening to it don't necessarily have that same feeling naturally, but now they do, because it's been shared. So it's not that it's bad, it's just that if you really want to be you in this moment, because the problem with it's not, I don't know why I keep saying problem. It's not a problem. It's just if you want to be you to the fullest without anybody else manipulating who you are, then you don't really want other people's ideas and feelings to be constantly always downloading into your brain. Because then your own state of being and your own view of the world and your own ideas are drowned out because there's so much coming in. You can't have a moment of your own silence. And so to me, what brain rot is really you have been completely engulfed by other people's ideas. Your entire brain has been taken over by everyone else's voice. That's scary, actually. Because now you might think your idea is your idea when it's not. It's like all of your ideas are somebody else's ideas because your whole mind has been dumped on. And I think the reason why people keep going back is because they're bored. Because the content is so stimulating on social media and also music too. And books have good stories in them. It's all stimulating to the mind. So we go back. We want to be entertained. We want to feel those emotions. But they're everybody else's emotions. They're not yours. And life is actually way more peaceful without all of this stuff. Way more peaceful. And it's easier to live on a day-to-day basis. For me, it was. When I did this, it was so much easier. Life is simple. It's so simple. And that's why I think a lot of times people look at dogs and they're like, wow, if only I could just be a dog. Well, guess what? No, not guess what. What I've realized is that by turning off all the distractions, my mind became very, very sharp and peaceful. And then I realized that I have more capability than a dog. I can sit in that peace and I can have so much potential to create something valuable for society or just be me in this moment. Whatever it is that you want to do, you can do it. Oftentimes people think what they want to do is their idea, but if they're brain rotting, which means consuming everybody else's information all the time, they start thinking their ideas are their ideas when they're actually not. But it's hard to notice when you're the one who's constantly consuming information all the time, because everything gets blended together. All the content gets blended together. And so your mind starts working like an AI, where you're taking all the information and you're trying to create something new. But when you're actually free of all the information and all the content on social media, and that's when you can actually be creative and make something new that hasn't been done before, because you're not distracted with everything everybody else is doing. And oftentimes people say they go on social media for inspiration to be creative. But really they're just looking for somebody else who is creative and then trying to change it in a way that is their own. But in the end of the day, you'd be 10 times more creative just not going on there at all. And really just becoming aware of life itself and how you see the world. And noticing the thoughts and ideas that you have that are not your own, so you can listen to the ones that are your own. But often it's the feelings that generate the ideas about certain situations. And as I'm talking, I'm trying to understand feelings, because it's like we decide to do things based on how we feel about it. Even if we have, all these ideas about something, the reason we choose to do it is because of a feeling that we have. So, and the only reason you really want to do all of this and quit with the brain rotting, get off of social media, is because you want to be you. Without anybody manipulating it. Because you might change your job. You might, hell, you might break up with your boyfriend or girlfriend. Who knows what you would do when you really start to be you. You might start making music instead of working some other job or whatever it is, And then you're thinking, well, if music is such an issue, why would somebody make more music? The thing is if you like sounds, the guitar, and you like playing them, singing, then hell, make a song. Make a song. But you don't need to listen to all that. You'll make a better song without listening to anyone else's song. Because you'll make something that nobody's heard in the history of music. Because you'll never have been manipulated by other people. Life is so simple. We can do the simplest things. Like, there's so many simple things in life. And all of it leads to you being the fullest version of yourself. And everyone's like, well, what if I need to make money? Or what if I need to, actually, I don't know what I'm talking about. What am I talking about? I'm talking about brain rot. All I have to say is get off of social media. Try it for yourself. 30 days. And don't listen to me. You might think this is a great video, Guys got good ideas. Well, guess what? It doesn't matter if you don't actually just get off of this stuff. Don't listen to me You have to do this for yourself. If you don't do this, this video is completely useless. You have to do it for yourself. It's the only reason I'm making this video is so that you might decide to do it. But think about that. This is my idea. I'm giving you my idea. And so now you're going to sit there and you're going to wonder, what the fuck? So I'm going to do 30 days no social media, and because of this guy on social media. It was his idea. That's why you should get off of it. Because there's so many people and so many things. Books, music, videos, Netflix. Everybody's trying to tell you something. Well, guess what? You get off of all this stuff and you tell somebody something. And that's what I'm doing. I'm here to tell you to get off. Your life will become easier. At first it's going to seem boring. But then slowly everything becomes interesting.